How's it going, everyone? In this video I want to give you guys a pretty big update on the development of Elden Ring. Has been relatively quiet in regards to that game, even though we're 3 months away from the release, but we have some positive news on that. Final Fantasy XVI, we got a gameplay update on that, and PlayStation Now's titles for the month of October have been revealed, and they are what we expected, so more on that in just a little bit. But first of all, Elden Ring coming out in January 21st to be exact, but we haven't been hearing much of it. Well, what's going on? Positive things are going on, that's what's going on. From Software spoke to Famitsu and translated by Reddit, discussed their game Elden Ring, and they did note we're in the final stages of development and we're moving forward quietly. That's pretty interesting, given that you would think that 3.5 months away from the release of the game, maybe now's the time you start, pushing the promotional muscle, but sounds like they just want to get the game done, make sure they can hit that January 21st window, and then start the promotion thereafter. Remember, while the game drops on January 21st, really the game has to go gold 6 to 8 weeks out, so a development has to wrap up by mid to late December, so they're really coming up at the home stretch of the development of this game. Really, it would be early to mid-December now that I think about it, 6 to 8 weeks before January 21st. You guys get the idea. Maybe even late November is when they want to go gold, but certainly early to mid-December. Also noted, you can explore the open field and seamlessly visit small to medium-sized dungeons within it. There are several types of dungeons to explore, such as catacombs and auditoriums. At the end of the world, we have what we'll call legacy dungeons, which are huge castle-like dungeons like the ones in previous titles. This is a game that I think is going to have an immense level of buzz, and what a killer way to kick off 2022. We're gonna have Elden Ring, Pokemon Legends Arceus is January 28th, like, we're talking some heavy bangers coming out early 2022. Like, when I look at the rest of this year, cool stuff, Battlefield, excited for that, Crisis Collection, Far Cry, that's all great, Metroid Dread, super looking forward to that. But then I look at early 2022, Elden Ring, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Horizon, all within the first 2 months of the year. That's a trifecta that I think is going to be turning some heads, and I'm super excited for that. Fingers crossed for no delays. I believe Dying Light is also early February, right? Yeah, early February of 2022. So wow, what in early 2022 we have scheduled right now. Maybe it was a little bit of a controversial take that I had, that the rest of the year to me, especially the month of October, which is traditionally this heavy month of game releases, not really that enamored by it. I'm not really that compelled by it. Metroid Dread looks awesome, and there's a couple other games here and there that I'm excited for, but early 2022, man, like an Elden Ring, a Horizon, Pokemon Legends Arceus, even Dying Light 2, which is easily number 4 among those 4, those are games that are getting my blood boiling, getting the juices flowing, so to speak. So let's hope for no more delays on that. But Elden Ring was a game that for a while, when they announced that January date, I was like, oh, I don't know about that one. That seems relatively soon, but it does seem like development is progressing quite swimmingly. Another game I expect to be released in 2022, definitely not early 2022, but Final Fantasy XVI. A lot has been coming out about that during a TGS 2021 interview with Final Fantasy series creator Hironobu Sakaguchi. Final Fantasy XVI producer Naoki Yoshida also revealed that the upcoming game will have an expansive skill tree system, noting there's usually 2 ways to play a character. You can either put yourself into the shoes of a predefined protagonist, or like in Final Fantasy XIV, you can become your own protagonist. But even in the case where you play a predefined hero, it's better to have some sense of customization in the character's progression, as it gives wider options of play, which I think is a great idea. Even if a game like a traditional Final Fantasy title, a numbered entry outside of the MMOs, you play as the main character, you should still have some customizability options and have some latitude in terms of how you want to tackle the game, and a skill tree really does offer that possibility. I'm super looking forward to Final Fantasy XVI as well. I think, given the fact that Yoshida's working on the game, Naoki Yoshida, that's what really gets me excited. Him as the producer of this game, I think, is going to, obviously, from what I'm seeing, he's already promoting this game the right way. He's not pushing the cart before the horse. He's like, yo, I'm going to talk about this game. I'm going to reveal information when I'm ready to reveal information. When you guys hear from me, it's going to be substantial information. It's not going to be, I really don't think Yoshida's going to go down this route of doing a event centered around revealing the release date of Final Fantasy XVI to only delay the game. Like, things like that with the release of Final Fantasy XV, and I liked Final Fantasy XV, I like things about it, but how that game was handled is kind of a case study on how to not handle promotional aspects of a game, and I think they're doing it right by Final Fantasy 16, and I really think this is going to be a return to form for Final Fantasy in terms of their mainline releases. Now, that might be me pushing the cart before the horse, but that's me pushing the cart before the horse, not Naoki Yoshida. Yoshida's probably not going to say things like that, and he's not going to say it's a return to form because Final Fantasy has been doing pretty well, but FF7 Remake has been doing well. Final Fantasy XIV has been doing well. When you look at FF13 and that trilogy, wasn't received that well by a lot of people, and I loved the original Final Fantasy XIII. I think it's one of the most underrated Final Fantasy games. Final Fantasy XV, not well received by a lot of people. I know some people crucify me for suggesting that game didn't have a good story. I'm sorry, like, I played that game prior to it even coming out. I got it like a week in advance, and I just thought it was such a disconnected experience, even though the gameplay was great. And you're talking about a franchise that really, with a lot of the main entries, it nails it in every aspect. Gameplay, story, visuals, presentation, soundtrack, and the soundtrack has been pretty exceptional with every release. And I think Final Fantasy XVI, if you can get all those elements right with Yoshida at the helm of the production, I do think it's going to be something spectacular. Lastly, I do want to note PlayStation Now titles for the month of October have been revealed, and we talked about the leak a little while ago, but yes, Last of Us Part 2 is on there, and it will be a 90-day title, so like I had suggested, that'll be available until January 3rd of 2022, so if you want to play that, jump on board, play Last of Us Part 2. I've already talked about the variety of opinions of that game. Think what you will, but if you want to give it a shot, PS Now, you can do so. Fallout 76 is on there, so that's another one. Amnesia Collection, which is pretty cool. You'll get Amnesia The Dark Descent and Amnesia Machine for Pigs. Desperados 3 is on there. That's a pretty cool Western tactical title, story-driven game in there as well, so that's been added. Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. Final Fantasy VIII, another one that's a little bit of, one of the black sheep of Final Fantasy, but another one that I did like and I think is a little underrated, much like FF13, the original FF13. 13-2, Lightning Returns, don't have high praise about those games. Didn't think they were absolutely terrible, but Final Fantasy standards are one thing. FF8 Remastered, you can check that out as well. Victor Vran Overkill Edition, and yet another Zombie Defense HD. So definitely the standouts here. Last of Us Part 2, Fallout 76, I mean, it's Fallout at the end of the day. Desperados 3, definitely a nice inclusion there. And then FF8 Remastered, definitely a notable inclusion there. Outside of Last of Us Part 2, which has been clarified for being available until January 3rd of 2022, the rest of them don't have a date lined up, so they should be available for the foreseeable future for those of you guys subscribed to PlayStation Now. But that's going to do it for me. Again, Elden Ring going to the final stretch, the home stretch of development. Excited about that. Hopefully that January 21st release date does stay intact. Final Fantasy 16 having an expansive skill tree system, and PlayStation Now, again, Last of Us Part 2, Fallout 76, Desperados 3, and more. That's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.